Have you ever stared at a requirements document and gone, how do I convert this into stories? I know what I want at a high level, but how do I go deeper and create something that my engineers can then go and build? Well, in a typical scenario, we spend a lot of hours meeting with our architects, design leads, software leads, stakeholders, managers, and after many hours, when we finally come up with what we think are the actual stories that your team then needs to go and build on. But what if there was an easier way? Well, today, folks, I'm going to be introducing to you one of my favorite features, a feature that I've been waiting so patiently for since May of 2024. And today, I finally get to present to you Atlassian Intelligence's work breakdown structure capability. This is an amazing feature. I'm going to show you what it is, how to use it, and why you need to be paying attention to this particular feature. So if you are a Jira Cloud Premium or Enterprise subscriber, then I have some very, very exciting news for you. Atlassian started to roll out their new work breakdown structure capability within Atlassian Intelligence. Now, what exactly is this? Well, in your Jira, again, if you're in Cloud or Premium, you are going to see that you have a new button, and it's called Suggest Child Issues, as you can see here on my screen. And what does it do? It will intelligently understand the context of your epic or story summary and description. And from there, it's going to take that information, use the power of artificial intelligence, and recommend and actually create actionable stories or subtasks, depending on where you are in the tree, that then you can assign to your engineers to go and create your app. And I'm going to be walking you through an end-to-end demo in just a minute, but understand that this is very, very powerful. This is a simple click of a button and things will magically appear on your screen. It is very, very beneficial. And if you aren't so technically advanced, right? If your skills is not an engineer, but you have to help your engineers come up with these tasks, well, I have some very, very exciting news for you. And if you're a product owner or a product manager, you should be jumping up and down with joy right now. So let me show you how easy it is to use inside of Jira. So over on the Jira side, you're gonna wanna basically create an epic. And so I'm gonna create an epic for create the ability to add pictures to inventory items. All right, it's just a big epic. It's basically a business requirement. We have some sort of feature or capability that we want. And now I'm gonna go full screen here so you can see and appreciate this for all its glory, right? And so now we need to add a description. Now what I'm gonna do in here is I'm gonna cheat a little bit because I don't really have anything here. And so I'm gonna use AI, right? I'm gonna show you we're taking a little side quest, if you will. And we're going to use AI to help us brainstorm and just tell it for every item in the catalog, be able to add an image to that item. Okay, so very simple. And it's just gonna come up with some description for me that I can then articulate. But this is important because I wanna give this epic some context. I wanna give it some information so that when we go and create these child items, they're much more valuable, all right? So now that we have an epic, now you could have just fast forwarded, assuming you already have an epic with the description and a title, so we're good there. But once we have that, here's where the magic happens. So pay attention here. So we're gonna click on this add an issue, and over here on the right-hand side, you're going to see what is now my favorite button, Suggest Child Issues. So we're gonna click on that, and magically, and I do mean magically, there's nothing else, my hands are over here, right? Atlassian is doing this all by itself. I didn't do a single thing, it just went and created these child issues. Nothing that I did, right? And it's just pure magic. Just did it all by itself. So let's take a look at what it created. So based on that summary and based on that description, it is going to propose as a work breakdown structure that we have a task for designing the database scheme. We have a task for implementing the backend API for image upload, develop the front-end interface for the image upload, right? And see, these are all things that we're gonna have to do. Now, after reviewing these and we're like, yeah, this looks good, we really like this, we're gonna click the accept all. And this is giving feedback to Atlassian Intelligence. And if you don't like it, you can just have it do that all over again and create you a new set. But I'm really happy with these items here. Now, taking it a step further, you can click on any of these, right? So I'm gonna go into this particular story here, implement image compression and optimization. And you'll notice that it didn't just create a title, it also created a description for me. And we can work with that, right? Because now, let's assume I wanna break this down even further. I can simply click on this create subtask button here. And guess what? I have a suggest subtasks button now. So let's click on that and let's see what it does. Again, my hands are over here. I'm not doing anything. And so while you're waiting for those tasks to be made, make sure you check out that merch store so you can get your own t-shirts, right? But now that those items are made, all we got to do is review them, say yay or nay, and then just accept it. And that's it. We're automatically going to create all these issues in just a few minutes instead of a few hours that it normally takes. Now, why is this important? Well, as you saw, in just a couple of minutes, I was able to create a ton of stories and subtasks. And this is valuable because a lot of times, at least in my 14-year career as an engineer, a lot of time is spent debating, arguing, negotiating what these stories look like. And there's usually one or two people that understand the system, right? Usually they're very expensive, very high level, very technically savvy individuals, and they just don't always have the time or the people skills to communicate with like the product owner or somebody else to help create this synergy that is required to eventually build a product, right? And so this creates a good stepping stone, right? It creates a baseline that we can now start iterating from. So rather than just getting like writer's block and staring at a blank canvas, I now have 100 items that we can start negotiating, debating, reviewing, articulating, and understanding, is this something that we want our system to do? And I do believe that it's going to help to get those conversations going. Now, this is not going to be perfect at first, but I do believe that Atlassian Intelligence is going to get better and better and better. And since it's learning from your data, it should help learn and understand how you and your teams are going to be building products and eventually figuring out how to create better stories and subtasks that your team can then go take some action on. So I really do believe this is a very powerful feature. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, one of the most exciting features that I think is part of this Atlassian Intelligence functionality. So if you're not in Jira Cloud Premium or Enterprise, I highly recommend you get there because this functionality, right, the hours, just the time that you're going to be able to compress down and be able to present some facts and data to the team and then have better conversations because now you have something to go off of, right? This is just gonna save so much time. And in every meeting, right, you gotta calculate how many hours and how much time every person in that room is worth, and that's how many savings you're gonna get, which I think is gonna make it worth it. So that's it for this video. We'll see you in the next one.